The following is a transcript between Matías de Stefano, referred to as me, and his higher self, referred to as I am. Me. The first law of the universe is that everything is mind. That is to say that everything that exists is only a mental perception. But then, what is mind? I am. Well, humans consider the mind to be the ability to think. It is the cognitive act, and they separate it from the heart as if it were something opposite to it. And it creates a false sense of what mind is. The mind contains in itself the act of thinking and developing an idea or establishing cognitive practice, but it is not adjusted only to these matters. The mind is wide and represents the pulse of information that are throughout the body. Think biologically. Why does the heart beat? Why do your kidneys work? Why do you breathe? Why do your testicles activate? Me. By nerve pulses, by parasympathetic action of the nervous system. I am. The central nervous system is based on the brain, yes, but it incorporates the cerebellum, the spinal cord, and all of the nerves of the body, which are extensive neurons that branch out like the roots of a tree to every corner of your body. The electrical pulses of your nerves are information processed by your neurons. The highest percentage of mental activity is not cognitive, it is sensory, and it is in your whole body and not in your head. Your heart works by electrical pulses of the mind, of the neurons. The emotions you feel come from the chemical reactions produced in the glands that are managed by the pituitary gland in the center of your brain. Thus, everything you perceive on your skin, the heat, the cold, everything that you see with your eyes, be it colors or depth, the air that you breathe through your lungs, digestion, the five senses through which you perceive the reality that surrounds you, all of this is a mere electromagnetic perception of the nervous system. Thus, it is your brain that feels, acts, thinks, loves, creates, projects, and assimilates. But even more, it is the data that flows in the neurons, since they are only tools that process data. The neurons are cables through which the electricity passes, which contain the data, the internet. The information connects everything. Beyond you, beyond your body, the nervous system is in charge of the processing and storing of it, giving it character of feeling, emotion, sensation, action, mechanism, thought, or whatever is necessary. The one who acts, the one who thinks, the one who loves, the one who creates, projects, and assimilates. Me. Therefore, everything we perceive is not outside, but in the mind. But how is it explained, then, that others can see or feel like me, and even see the same things as me? If it is just a perception of the mind, then should we all see things differently? I am. And isn't it? Me. Well, obviously there are perspectives and nuances. We don't always see exactly the same thing, but if I point to that table in front of me, 99.9% of humans will see it and will be able to describe to me practically the same thing that I see, with nuances, but they will see. I am. And why do you think that happens? Me. Well, because there has to be something in common, in reality, that constitutes the fact or object in such a way that we can perceive it the same. I am. Think a little bigger. Is the table the common denominator, or is it the mind? Me. I don't know. I am. And do you know the sunflower plant? Me. Yes, of course. It is the huge flower that contains hundreds of seeds inside it, and it rotates looking at the sun and following its course throughout the day. I am. And do you think that it was always this big? Me. Probably not. Surely it has undergone some genetic modification after its use in the last 4,000 years. I am. A sunflower used to have no more than 4 seeds. And today it can produce hundreds of seeds in a single flower. That is, hundreds of new sunflowers will come out of it. And some may vary, even have more seeds, more potential, or grow taller, or have some variation that alters the product for better or for worse. But There is something that will not change. They will all turn facing the sun on its way through the sky. Me, you mean that, despite the differences, we all see the same thing? I am. A sunflower plantation can have thousands and thousands of plants, each one with its flower, full of new potential plants that generate thousands and millions of new flowers in a crop. And even so, they are planted where they are planted in the world. They will all look at the sun. They will all know within themselves that they must grow, and how to follow the light. That is the collective mind. You humans believe that each of you is unique and separate from the other, but the truth is that all of you, absolutely all of you, come from very few seeds, maybe 2, maybe 4, maybe 8, but very few. And almost 8 billion of you are here today. At some point, were just 3 brothers and sisters who had children and created families, tribes, societies, civilizations, empires, nations, republics, and today you feel so different from each other that you think you're separate, but not. You are a sunflower in the middle of a plantation of 8 billion, all looking at the same sun. The mind is a strange and capricious reality, made up of electromagnetic pulses that first join protons with electrons and some house neutrons inside. These positive, negative, and neural charges establish a communication pattern that records data, creating a code to follow of interpretations of the environment. Thus, atoms, molecules, chromosomes, cells, organs, bodies, all are nothing more than interpretations upon interpretations of electromagnetic pulses and resonance waves, which give rise to what you call 5 senses: touch, sight, smell, hearing, and taste, all emerged from the need to survive. And the subtlest senses, those that help perceive these waves, where the data and memory move, is where the interconnectivity between everything lies. Your body is just a biological result born from the need to interpret those pulses. You are a processor of the only thing that exists, the mind. Therefore, you have the appearance of separation, but you are all the same body, me. Therefore, I cannot speak of an individual mind. True? I am. Are you wondering about the famous free will? Me. Yes, does it exist? I am. Oh, of course not. Free will is a folkloric or romantic creation of the meaning of freedom of action. But let's be clear, you cannot escape your biological pattern and family heritage any more than you can jump out of a window and fly with the birds. All your emotional, thought, and physiological construction, everything is conditioned by these pulses that reach your microscopic spectrum. You cannot decide anything freely because you are just a drop in the ocean. Me. So, I don't understand. What do I do? Why do what one does? I am. Good question. See, the universe contains everything in itself, just as the mind contains everything that you perceive in itself. Therefore, the equation is easy. Mind equals universe. With that said, we can understand that the universe is moved by 2 forces, the positive and the negative, which in the mind is equal to logic and illogic. The universe is ordered in a triune aspects: width, height, and depth for space, and past, present, and future for the vision of time. And in the mind, we call this subconscious, unconscious, and conscious. If the universe is like the mind, and everything is in it, you are a simple drop inside of it, and then we can interpret that the mental universe equals ocean. The ocean is the subconscious, where everything resides without judgment. Water, animals, and plants, everything lives there. It encompasses everything. It surrounds the continents, contains life. Inside, there is an ocean currents, one warm and one cold. They move the waters, creating storms, generating energy, wind, humidity, helping in migrations. We call these currents that drag us the unconscious, the force that propels us through the uncontrollable oceanic subconscious. And inside, some minimal unicellular organisms, which manage to enclose a drop of water in a salty membrane of minerals, storing information carried by the currents. That organism or cellular drop is the conscious one. Simple, right? Me. Too much. I am. But powerful. Well, by itself, it can take heat from the sun, heat it up, and start a chain reaction that changes the polarity of others until it generates heats and changes the ocean currents. He can, in turn, join by resonance with others like him, creating a complex organisms, evolve, and seek to use the force of the unconscious at his mercy, and swim. Swim? I am. To have the appearance of freedom, the famous free will, is to become aware of yourself, to discover the potential of your drop of water and create the necessary tools to awaken inner strength, and instead of letting yourself go with the flow, use it freely, your profit. Now you can move through the ocean in the direction you feel, but you will still be in the ocean, being a krill or a fish or a whale. Me. And what about the ones that evolved out onto the coast, becoming the reptile, a mammal, walking on the continents, even the deserts? I am. Very well. They have achieved something impressive. They became the ocean because they carry it inside. It is its interior waters and lies in the memory of the oceans. They are not free from it. They became it, transcending to a new mental ocean, the atmosphere. Me. Now I depend on another type of ocean. I am. Exactly. Until you manage to get out of the atmosphere and navigate through space, and then space will be your new ocean until you rise out of the surface of time. And one day you will want to leave the ocean of time to enter a new one in another dimension, and then in another universe. And one day you will close your eyes and you will see that the imagination was only the infinite ocean capable of housing all of the others. And by then you will know that all that ever existed was the mind. Me. And knowing this, what is it good to me? I am. You have asked the question. Tell me, what do you think it is useful for? Perhaps you should now reformulate it. Me. If everything that exists is part of the mind that we all make up, then no matter how aware we are of our surroundings, we will always seek to transcend it and to find another. Perhaps what we are doing wrong is trying to escape from the ocean. Basically, what we're doing right now is like going on a vacation to the beach, but being afraid of the sea. I am. Exactly. You must transcend the fear of the eternal of this circuit and go above it all. Recognize that everything is imagination, the ocean of the great imaginative mind that creates with its thoughts, with its pulses. But you can modify all that thinking because you are a cell, a drop that became conscious. But he still believes that to be conscious, you have to leave unconsciousness or eradicate it from the occasion. It is as if the body says, now that I know the spirit, I no longer need the soul as a bridge. It's ridiculous. The subconscious and the unconscious are the means and tools of the conscious. The drop cannot eliminate the current or the ocean. It can evaporate, yes, it can fly and go to the cloud, and then be snow and ice and stream and river and lake and wetland, but inevitably one day it will return to the sea, and it will be the ocean again. You cannot escape from the circuit because there is nothing but the circuit. Those who feel trapped in it are the ones who focus only on the fact that they are being carried away by the current. Those who cannot control their lives, who do not know how to use the medium they have created, who do not allow themselves to imagine, and are the only conditioned by the imagination of others. Me. So, if I am the path, and if I am my own story, my own destiny, I am my own purpose, I am my own love, if I am my own belief, if I am my own projection and truth, it means that everything I am is just an idea conditioned by a mind. And if I become that conscious aspect of that mind, I can use the cycle itself to create a different one. I am. Free will lies only in the awareness that I am conditioned by everything to such an extent that I myself am my own condition. Because believing myself trapped, I create the trap, and believing myself free, I create the search for constant freedom. The key of the mind is, do not believe in anything, just be the mind. Imagine endless, infinite possibilities without judgment, and dare to be yourself in all of it. Me. Welcome to life. Believe everything, but don't believe anything. That was what an angel told me when I was about to incarnate into this life, and I remember her sweet face smiling and pronouncing those words. Now I understand. I am. They only have had to spend 33 years and a week of inner work with me. Me. The key is in imagination. Imagination will set us free because we are everything. Limitations are not a prison. They are a tool of the imagination. I am. And this is how you expand. This is how you free yourself. This is how you realize that. Me. I am the mind.